Welcome everyone on la chaîne Géopolitique. So we are continuing to follow up the latest development in the Middle East region. So in the first video, we talk about the nuclear program from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Then we talk in a second video about the speech from Mike Pompeo yesterday about making links between Al Qaeda and Iran. And so we raised a question yesterday, in the wake of the speech from Mike Pompeo, whether the Secretary of State, the U.S. Secretary of State, is not trying to find a pretext, to find an excuse to bomb nuclear facilities in the Islamic Republic of Iran. And we were also raising another question: is it Israel who will bomb, or U.S., or both of them? Who actually, how it works, are both US and Israel are working together to provoke a war against Iran. And maybe we have the answer now to this latest question, due to the fact that yesterday in the night from 12th to 13th of January, the Israeli army, even though it's not officially claimed, has bombed massively the Syrian territory yesterday, causing the death of 57 people. 47 of them are, let's say, what we call pro-Iranian fighters, and 10 of them are Syrian soldier. What we have to keep in mind, and just that when we call pro-Iranian fighters, it doesn't mean that those people are Iranian. Most of them actually are from countries where you have Shia minority, like Afghanistan. And actually, many of them who died over the last weeks and yesterday are Afghan people coming from the Hazara minority, which is actually very much persecuted in Afghanistan, and which is Shia. And so they are used by Iran, let's say, in Syria, and they are notably present in the Abu al-Bukamal region, which is on the border with Iraq, and also in Deir ez-Zor, exactly those regions which has been bombed yesterday night. Actually, according to the local newspaper from Deir ez-Zor, many warehouses were hit by missiles. And so the latest death toll of 57 people has been reported by the Syrian Observatory of Human Rights. Just to keep in mind that there are very few independent, let's say, sources coming from Syria, so it's very difficult to find some reliable figures. There are absolutely no journalists on spot, so we have to use the very scarce source that we have, like the Syrian Observatory of Human Rights. So what we have also to know, it's according to the Associated Press, we learned that actually Mike Pompeo, so the US Secretary of State, and Yossi Cohen, so the head of the Mossad, met secretly on Monday in Washington, and probably they talk about this massive military operation in Syria, because according to so Associated Press, the Israeli army has used some intelligence information that the United States has given to Israel to lead this massive operation. Such, according also to some experts, it's probably the most important military operation that Israel has led in Syria to date. Bear in mind that Israel is constantly bombing Syria, has been constantly bombing Syria since maybe around 4 or 5 years, since 2015 now. But the latest strikes yesterday has been the most massive, with probably around between 18 and 22, according to sources, strikes and have been reported, and those strikes have been this time especially concentrated in Deir el-Zor and Al-Bukamal region, so on the border with Iraq, on the eastern bank of Euphrates. And also we learned an interesting figure yesterday. According to Israeli army, 50 targets have been hit in Syria in 2020, but I think this number is probably underestimated because probably some strike have not been reported by Israeli, so it's just given an underestimation. But even this figure of 50 targets in 2020 is already significant, so it can show actually how often and Israel is bombing the Syrian territory. But after saying that, having said that, we can also raise a question: how come there no retaliation has been? There has been no retaliation either from the Syrian army or either from the pro-Shia fighters. How come after such a massive operation yesterday, how come nothing has happened? First of all, we have to, as I've already said in the previous video, the Iranian authorities are very afraid of the current attitude of the US administration and the Prime Minister Netanyahu, who are trying to provoke probably a war against Iraq. So probably we can assume that if Iran would have retaliated yesterday night to those massive strikes on the Syrian territory, probably Israel or even the United States or both would have used would have used those retaliation to bomb the Iranian territory and probably the nuclear facilities. Actually, both parties are trying to find, an excuse to bomb Iran before the Trump administration leaves office on 20th of January, so meaning next Wednesday. So probably those Iranian authorities, despite the very high death toll yesterday, are trying just to wait the end of the Trump administration to bring retaliation if after this date of 20th of January, Israel is continuing bombing the Syrian territory. So we see that so far the Iranian authorities are just trying to show restriction in terms of retaliation. I just remember also that over the last 5 years, I remember that only once or twice the Syrian army and the Iranian authorities have decided to retaliate. It was in February 2010. Actually, at this time, if you remember, an F-16 from the Israeli army has been brought down. I mean, and it was first time since 1982 that an F-16 from the Israeli army has been down. So, except those events that occurred in February 2018, so far the Syrian army, Syrian authorities, and Iranian authorities have decided so far, despite the hundreds and perhaps the thousands of fighters who have been killed by Israel, not to retaliate towards the Israeli territory. But things could change maybe after 20th of January, because I think the patience, if I can use this word, this understatement word, that the patience of the Iranian authority and the Syrian authorities are running out. And so just it's a matter of time that the Syrian and Iranian authorities could retaliate towards the Israeli territory. So we will continue to follow up on the latest development. As you see, there is every day brings new development in the region, and we get the feeling that we are very close to a total confrontation between Iran and Israel, and just a small event could bring such a war. So we will continue to following those developments in the region on that channel.